I've known this guy. I love this guy. But we're just going to talk like we always do. You know, I admire you so much. You built this incredible organization that's helping people find their own power out of community. You know, technologies in some ways can divide people. But I don't know if people really know your heart. I think they see you as a genius of the head, but really you're a genius of the heart. And I just wonder if we could just kind of put all the tech stuff to one side, put all the stuff Fast Company wants to hear from you to one side, just once. Why do you care so much about community?
Okay, we're 60 seconds in and I'm already about to lose it. All right, first of all, it's an immense honor to be here. Community is the thing for me. Like, it took me a while to actually realize that was the thing, because it's just this like feeling that you get. I grew up an evangelical Christian, and it was a huge part of my life. And then when I was about 18 or 19, I got cancer. My mom got cancer, and she died. My whole family fell apart, and I lost my faith. I lost it. And then I spent the next decade trying to find it again in so many different things. It was in documentaries, it was in the progressive community, it was in all these different ways. And it was only sort of when it got to the point where I was sick again, I needed a double lung transplant. That's what the whole video is about, that I really started to grasp.
Wait, you said you need a double lung transplant?
Yeah, the cancer treatments had sort of messed up my lungs and stuff, and it was only then when a community kind of came together to help me, people that I barely knew, right, folks that I knew very well, to just like make this happen to me. We're like, you know, we want this guy to stay alive, and that was when I sort of really sort of got my faith back. It was a different kind of faith. It was a faith in the power of humankind connected, and that.
So wait, when you say this community came together, how did they come together? I don't get it. Help me paint the picture. So
the whole problem that I had was, I had cancer, and so I was really not a good candidate for a lung transplant. It was very likely that I would get sick again, and so the lungs would be wasted. Lungs are a very scarce resource. And the surgery itself was going to be very difficult. And so we had to go through all kinds of hoops to make this happen. And one of the big ones was that the programs would just like flat out reject me. They would look at my file, they would run it through like all of their like little statistics, whatever, like, no, forget it, this guy doesn't qualify. But if you actually sat down with me, it was like, this guy, he's healthy, he just needs new lungs, right? He'll make it, right? But it was a real challenge to just sort of get in front of the folks, and then the health insurance companies, and it was like, I could go on and on and on and on and on, but
how did you ultimately prevail?
So the big thing was that I vented on my blog. It was actually my stepmom's blog. I vented on my blog, and I said, I'm gonna go set up a website about how lousy UCLA surgeons are. It was more carefully worded than that then. But then one of the volunteers that had been working at Brave New Films saw it, and she fired off an email to UCLA, and then a few other folks fired off emails, and a couple of weeks later, there I was, talking to the doctors. And I finally met with the surgeon who would eventually do the transplant, and I'm like, what happened? Like, you guys rejected me, I don't understand. And he said, look, everybody's right, it's gonna be really hard surgery, which is exactly why I need to be the one who does it. That was, I was like, right on.